So first off, I want to thank you for coming out. I know it's been a crazy 2 days, jam-packed throughout. So we really appreciate your participation. And each talk seems to be more inspiring. And we hope that you come out of here charged more than ever, either from this or the coffee that we've been providing. But no, we're really glad. And over here we have someone very, very special. So we have Lisa Smith-Batchen over here. Batchen?
Yep, perfect.
So Lisa has done many, many things, of which if I told you about it, if I told an ordinary person about it, you'd be like, no, that's like literally impossible. And I can tell you a couple years before, even getting into this whole event organizing business, if you told me, there are people that ran 100 miles, whatever it is, I wouldn't believe it. But not only that, Lisa has done a lot more than that. So this I was floored by. You were the first American to win the Marathon des Sables stage race through the Moroccan desert, and you've won the Badwater twice.
Correct.
So just to put this in context, the Badwater race, some of you might know, it's 135 miles through Death Valley. It is an incredibly grueling event, of which just to get in, you have to be an incredible ultra runner. And to have won it twice and to be the first American to do the Marathon des Sables is just off the charts. And I mean, if you just Google Marathon des Sables, you'll get a sense for what it means to even conquer something of that magnitude. Lisa has also been the first and only person to ever run 50 miles a day in 50 states in the USA in 62 days. So if that doesn't put you on your feet, then I don't know what will. But we're really excited to have Lisa here today. She's an incredible person and has a very genuine heart. And honestly, just all the endurance feats is amazing. But when someone just has a genuine, kind soul, which really translates through, I think that's more important than everything else. So we're really glad to have you. And
thank you.
Thank you.
That was so good. My name's Lisa Smith-Batchen, as he said, Joe, and I just want to thank Joe and the whole crew of young students that put this event together. It's absolutely remarkable, and I hope I get asked to come back next year, as I know everybody does, and I think we would all do everything in our power to try to help you. I know I've heard people say, oh, we're unorganized, blah, blah, blah. Well, as a race director, you would not have missed a beat, in my opinion. It is just absolutely incredible what you've done. So thank you. I'm a very emotional speaker, so if I tear up, cry, or that's just who I am. I'm a very emotional person that is very heartfelt. I wasn't always like that, but as I get older, I am very much like that. So I am grateful for one person who shows up to hear you speak, 10 people, 20 people. As long as you get to share your heart with people, you're sharing of yourself, right? I want to introduce my very good friend, her sister Mary Beth Lloyd, who is remarkable runner herself, and she is in my presentation, so I'll get to tell you a little bit about her as well, and how she has mentored me and helped me, because we are forever changing. I am not what I was 5 minutes ago. You can't change what happened 5 minutes ago, let alone 5 seconds ago. We're moving towards the future. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much has truly become one of my greatest quotes for myself. There is no way that I've been able to do what I've accomplished alone. It's come with a lot of help, a lot of time, effort, and energy from friends, family, and people alike. My daughter, this is one of my daughters, Annabella. If you notice on her little race shirt there, it says Dream Chasers. She is a dream chaser. Years ago, I started my company called Dream Chasers, and the motto, find a dream, chase it down. What I realized was that I was dreamless. I was hopeless, helpless, and I had really no sense of purpose in life. Meg, back there, believe it or not, was my roommate when I think I may have even started Dream Chasers all these years ago. Was a bunch of people who were housewives or whatever they were doing, but they had no goals, they had no dreams, they had no visions. And I was trying to put all that together myself, so it made sense for me to try to help other people. My kids actually get it. They are dream chasers. And this is Annabella chasing her dream, running with a smile, and runs with a purpose. We don't make her run, she chooses to run. As I was preparing for this presentation, and I have for others, my daughter walked up to me, Annabella, and squeezed my face like this. I'll beat the chip. And she goes, Mommy, I don't expect a perfect performance out of you. I expect a perfect effort. I don't expect a perfect performance. I expect a perfect effort. That's an 11-year-old. 11-year-old telling that to her mother as I'm sitting there struggling. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? I got so much I want to say and so little time to say it in. Perfect effort. Think about that. Perfect effort. That's my beautiful husband, Jay. Makes me cry to talk about him because he's truly my best friend. Next to this one and that one. I met Jay in the Sahara Desert when I was 39 years old. And that is the year I won the Marathon des Sables, the race through the Sahara Desert, which is 150 miles. Did I go there to win? No. I went there looking for the man. No, I'm kidding. I went there with a mission to run and do the best I could. It was the first time I'd been there. And man, it was tough, tough stuff. But I had a perfect effort out there. It doesn't always go perfect, but I had a perfect effort. That's where I met my husband. And he was living in Rome, by the way, at that time, working for Discovery Channel. I was chasing the cameraman. I had to look good. Yeah. Needless to say, and that's how I ended up living in Rome, where I was trying to get where Sister Mary Beth was living. So all of these efforts came together in a perfect fashion. That's our other daughter, Gabriella. She is 10 years old now. Our children are adopted. You can imagine, I didn't meet Jay till I was 39, so we didn't get married till I was 39 and a half. Yep, we got married real quick. It wasn't because I was going to have a baby. I wanted to have kids, but guess what? Can't have kids. They said you can't have kids. Can you imagine someone who's like most of us in here when they say, Chip, can't? What are you kidding? Of course I can. Nope, Jody, can't, what? Literally, I could not have my own children was one of the biggest pitfalls of my life because I couldn't wait to be a mother. Look what I have. Look what I have. I mean, so sometimes when you think you're never going to get what you're going to get, you get something better because you're patient and you wait for it and you wait for, you keep putting out that perfect effort, right? I couldn't love these children more than if they did come from my own stomach. It's incredible. Anybody else have adopted children? Yeah, right? See? These kids are the loves of our life. They are little dream chasers chasing dreams, as we all should, chasing our dreams. The purpose of this presentation was to come here and talk about how I've used my passion for running for a great purpose. I wasn't always a runner. I started out doing triathlons, adventure races, but I believe as a kid I was always active. Just being active. Our children, we are teaching them to be active in a society where everybody's looking down on their phones all day long, looking down, looking on computers. Everybody's out, get outside in the world and be active and do things. So take a minute and read that. Then I want you to think about, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about sewing, right? Are you passionate about lecturing? Are you passionate about writing, reading, talking to people, music, dancing? What are you passionate about? Imagine a world where people line up to help their fellow man the way they line up to buy a new phone, right? There's thousands of people in line waiting to get a new phone. How many people are lining up to help somebody else? Really, how many people are lining up to help this guy? I am. Are you? She is. Serious. 30 years ago, I started Dream Chasers, Find a Dream, Chase It Down. We've helped thousands of these kids, right? So I run 1 mile for 1,000 kids. Every mile I run is for 1,000 kids, 1,000 people. Wasn't always that way for me. Remember this picture. Remember that beautiful person right there. Look how that person is getting their water. Can you imagine having to do that every day? A piece of bread. I know Vinny shouldn't be eating bread, okay? But look at the gratitude. Look at the love. Look at the love in their eyes, the love in their hearts. They got a piece of bread. Can you imagine that's all that they got that day, or maybe that week? So when you're lining up to get your phone next time, I want you to think about these guys, too. Success isn't just about what you want, what you accomplish in your life. It's about what you inspire others to do. How many of you are still thinking about that purpose, the passion? What are you passionate about? Francis, you like to sing? You like to write? What is it?
I like to help others.
You like to help others. Helping others is incredibly gratifying. Helping yourself is gratifying, right? Helping others. Most of my young life I spent feeling like I wasn't good enough. I didn't fit in. When I started, for many, many years, I spent with 3 older brothers getting beat up all the time. You know, really honestly didn't feel like I fit in. And when I went to high school to try out for the cross country and the track team and did my absolute best effort, waiting in line with all the other kids to see who's going to make the team, I heard, "Smith! Not on the team. Too slow. You're too slow." What? You're too slow. You don't make the team. That's what I remember right now. I hear that voice as loud as you can imagine, meaning you're too fat, you're not good enough, you suck, right? Those are the words I took with me that day. You are not good. Never do that to a kid, ever. Fast forward to college. It's a long way. I ended up doing swimming and diving, gymnastics. I was a cheerleader. None of that brought me joy like running does. So my last year of college, my college roommate says, "Hey, Lisa, I'm going to a 5K turkey trot race." And a 5K turkey trot race is over Thanksgiving. 5K is 3.1 miles. She said, "Come on, come with me." And I said, "You know what? I'm no good. I'm no good. I'm already a senior in college and I'm still no good. I'm no good. I'm not a good runner. I can't run. I'm too slow." I had every excuse in the book. "Come on, just come with me. Watch the race." I said, "No, I'm not going to go." Well, the next morning, Saturday morning, she's getting ready to go to the race. And I said, "All right, I'll go watch." And I definitely didn't have running clothes on. "I'll go watch the race." And as I'm standing there, all of these people are checking into the 5K race, signing up. This gentleman in an orange shirt, he was a volunteer, came up to me. Everybody had orange shirts. It was Thanksgiving time. Came up to me and said, "Why aren't you running the race?" And I said, "Oh, I'm no good." Still, I'm no good. I was verbalizing it to everybody how no good I was, right? I am no good. I am still holding on to that, what that one person said to me. "You stink. You are no good." No good. So, "Come on, enter the race," he said. I said, "No, I'm not a runner." He goes, "The money goes to the local food bank." And I thought, what do you mean the money goes to the local food bank? "Well, it costs $10 to enter the race." "Well, I don't have $10. Well, here comes another excuse of mine. I didn't have $10, right? So I found an excuse. Roommate came back up and said, "Lisa, I will give you $10. Enter the race." "Well, I don't have running shoes on. I don't have any of that stuff on." And needless to say, I entered the race, the 5K turkey trot race on the campus of the University of Wisconsin in Oshkosh. And as that gun went off, boom, you know, the starting line, the gun, I was not dressed to run the race at all. The gun went off, and I have to tell you, I went off like a rocket ship and ran that 5K turkey trot race. And as I came through the finish line of the race, they're, "Oh, you're a first woman, you're a first woman." Ah, everyone's screaming and yelling. I'm looking around, who are they talking about? What are they talking about? First woman, first woman. I was the first woman. I won the flippin' turkey trot, 5K race, and I won a 20-pound turkey. Now that's not me, that's my friend Shar, but I put on a 5K turkey trot race every year now, and the winners get 20-pound turkeys. So kids alike, whatever, they get 20-pound turkeys, but then the turkeys are donated back to the food bank, to the local food bank. So I can tell you that a 20-pound turkey changed my life forever. And that's where my running career started, my last year of college, because I was not a runner. I sucked. That's what I was told. So purpose of that is don't ever tell anybody that they're not good at something, especially a child, because you can take somebody from that door right there and they can't run to that window right there, and 4 years later might be a state champion, right? True? Come on, you gotta believe in me. Believe in that. That started my running career, and I never stopped. What happened to me at that time was I ran and I ran and I ran. I ran 2 races a day. I ran a race every weekend. I did triathlons. I did it all. And guess what? I still wasn't happy. I was not happy whatsoever. I had more medals, more trophies, more t-shirts than you could possibly imagine, and none of that made me happy. I was miserable. Then I met that woman right there, Sister Mary Beth, in my late 20s. I took a job at Villa Walsh Academy, which is here in New Jersey, as a track cross-country running coach. She had been the coach for many years before that as a teacher, and she was going off to get yet another PhD or something that she does. And she happened to be the person that I met first and was taking her job as the coach. And what an amazing mentor I all of a sudden had thrown in my life. It took a while. It took a while of running, winning. I wanted to beat the shit out of you. I was running pissed. I was running away from all of this childhood anger and pain. Then I was running too. I was running to gain glory. I was running to gain, whatever it is that you gain when you win. But I wasn't ever feeling any of that. I think it's great to run to race people and beat people and do all those things. I'm not discouraging you from doing any of that. I think racing and winning and all that is all fine and good. But what never made me happy. So one day, my friend Sister Mary Beth says to me, Lisa, why don't you take all of that energy, all of that running, all of that whatever you're doing, and help me do something good for the world? And I thought, well, like what? Like what? Well, here we are. Fast forward all these years later. Together, we've raised millions of dollars. Together, some people say, well, how many millions? Well, I don't know. You know what? Who does it matter, right? We've raised several $1 million for all kinds of causes. I've raised money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, for the Christopher Reeves Foundations, AIDS orphans. We've raised a lot of money for causes that are close to our heart. But in particular, AIDS orphans. And orphans are, children who have no parents and kids who have, she just told me, oh, we've got now 13 missions in India. She's going back to India next month and there's 13 missions. Well, there might be, what is a mission? A mission is where there's children who are orphaned and there's no parents, and they might have room for 200 orphans, but there's 300 of them waiting in the streets. So they have to build another one. And these things don't just get built, they have to be funded. So that's what I help her do, is raise the money to do those things. This picture was taken in 2010 when I did run 50 miles in all 50 states in 62 days. And I'll just give you a 2-minute reason why that was. I was 50 years old in 2010, and I wanted to do something unique and different for my 50th birthday. So I called her up, of course, Sister Mary Beth, because I don't ever do anything big without saying, would you pray about this and see what kind of answer you get. She was with me in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I was sitting across the table from her in a hotel room, and it was about midnight. And I said, I want to run 50 miles in 50 states and start New Jersey in 62 days. Well, that's impossible. Nobody can do that. You can't do that. Everybody said it wasn't possible because you needed more days to drive to the next state. So she got on, she goes, well, if it's 50 miles from this point in New Jersey to this point in New Jersey, we're meant to do it. So I was like, we? She goes, yeah, of course we. She'll go with me. So she got on, she Googled it. It was from Trenton to Morristown. It was the 100th anniversary of her religious teachers at Philippine. I'm going to be 50 years old, 50 miles a day. It's 100. 100K is my favorite race distance. That's 62 days. So the numbers came together the way my mind was calculating them. So she gets on, she Googles it. She goes, oh. I said, what? It's midnight. She goes, it's 50.3 miles. She goes, we're going. We're going. That's how it started. It started with, this is why we're doing it. This is how we're doing it. Everybody said it was not possible to do this in 62 days. Well, on the 62nd day in Idaho, we finished that run, 50 miles in 50 states. It was 2,500 miles, 1,000 miles, 1 mile for 1,000 kids. I had a very broken foot when I finished the run. Most people wouldn't have finished the run, but it was by the grace of God you will finish with your foot hanging half off your leg, and then you'll have major surgery to fix that. That's for a whole nother story of literally the orthopedic surgeon the day before the last run. We've done 49 states. What I haven't told you yet, the 49 states, is that she ran 20 miles a day in all 50 states. And after she finished the 20 miles in all 50 states, she stood up and crewed for me all day long, and waited for me and helped me finish my 50 miles. So the night before, we're done state 49. Orthopedic surgeon comes, he takes a look at my foot, and he goes, Sister Mary Beth's standing there with me, he goes, this foot's not going to make it another 50 miles. And I go, dude, really? Really? I said, by the grace of God, we will finish this thing. As he's driving his car, the last 9 miles next to me, and she was ringing the bell, it was incredible. My foot was not touching the ground. I'm not kidding you. It was not hitting the ground. I believed and I knew I was supposed to finish that. It was a miracle. When everybody's telling me you can't, you won't, you can't, you won't. Guess who finally believed that I didn't suck? Me. And by the grace of God. So it goes back to would I tell you to run on a broken foot? No, of course not. But doing something like 2,500 miles, you can't really go back and start it tomorrow and start it all over again. So it's kind of, you made a commitment and you made a process and you knew that you could do it, so you did. And you finished it. Any questions so far? Excuse me. How'd you get to Hawaii? We flew to Hawaii. So the first state was New Jersey, where Sister Mary Beth lives here in New Jersey. That's where she was. The last state was Idaho. And so we flew to Alaska, we flew to Hawaii, and where else did we fly?
Hawaii, Alaska, Portland.
Yeah, Hawaii. And believe me, when people say, you had all that rest for 12 days, driving in a bumpy RV camper for 8 to 10 hours to get to the next state, you really aren't sleeping at all. The sleep deprivation was the hardest part of the whole thing. I'm sad that my good friend Marshall Ulrich didn't get to be here for this, because I really, makes me cry. I have to recognize Marshall as a part of my personal growth and journey. We have been friends for many, many years. I met Marshall at the first Eco Challenge in 1985, where 2 of his teammates ended up having to bail out of the race, and 2 of mine had to bail out of the race, so we hooked up together as a team with Mark Macy, Travis Macy's father. So here's Travis Macy, 32 years old, and I'm listening to what this kid has done by the age of 32, when I had just met him when he was 10 years old. Marshall has been one of my greatest mentors. He's like a brother. Just the most incredible, in my opinion, incredible endurance athletes of all times. Completely, the ego, he has no ego. I mean, when Marshall walks in a room, you don't feel that, I'm going to kick your butt or I have to beat you. It's just remarkable what I've learned from Marshall as a friend and as a person, as a fellow adventurer. Follow your passion. Raise your hand in here if you have a passion. Come on, raise both hands if you have more than one passion. What are you doing with them? What are you doing with them to help somebody else? What are you doing with them? Think about that. I want you to really think about it. I don't want you to just think about it. I want you to try to do something about it. Call somebody. Tell somebody. What are you going to do with that passion? My kids are doing something with theirs. What is it you're passionate about that you're going to use for a great purpose? It's not all about raising money, people. A great purpose, your passion, using it. What can you use to help somebody somehow? Look at what these kids here at Princeton are doing. They are using their passion and have turned this incredible conference into an amazing purpose. You know how most people start on a Monday? I'm going to call Vinny next Monday and get on that diet. I'm going to start my diet next Monday. Next Monday, I'm going to start that training plan, coach. Next Monday, I'm going to sign up for that race. Why do people always wait till Monday? Tomorrow's Monday, okay? Next Monday, you know I came up with this. Yeah, don't forget to be awesome on Monday, but be awesome every day. When I drop my girls off at school, they get out of the car and I look at them and we give a high five and they say, be awesome today, right now. What are you waiting for Monday for? I'm going to start that diet on Monday. I came up with 20 years of Mondays because my mother has told me for 20 years she's going to learn how to play the piano. For 20 years. Next Monday, I'm going to call and make that appointment with the piano teacher. Well, Monday came and went. Next Monday, next Monday, next Monday. It's been 20 years of Mondays. She just came to visit us about 2 months ago. Guess what she did on a Tuesday? Because I made the appointment for her. She took a piano lesson. She would have never done it because she kept putting it off. So think about it. Why does everyone want to start on Monday? Start now. What are you passionate about? What is it that you want to do to change the world? Change your community, change your life, change the life of the person sitting next to you. You don't have to wait. You got to start now. We're always waiting. I'm going to wait to call you. I'm going to wait to text you. I'm going to wait to this. I'm going to keep waiting. Well, I'm telling you, people, life goes pretty darn quick, right? Haven't seen Megan flip in 20 years. You know? Thank God for Facebook. It's incredible, but it's important to connect with people and not wait for Monday. That's why your training schedules never come on Monday. They come on Tuesday. Got it? I run 1 mile for 1,000 kids. And why is it running? I've done endurance cycling. I've done all of these sports for my whole life as a kid, throwing balls, whatever it is. Running brings me the greatest joy. I am not a natural-born runner. I am a good runner, but I work really hard at it. I am not a natural-born runner. Meg is a natural-born runner. Meg is a beautiful runner. I'm not one of those runners out there where you say, oh my God, look at how beautiful she is running. I'm like, they're probably like, going, she's a runner? I don't care. But 1 mile for 1,000 kids, look at those kids. How could I not want to help them? They look happy, but they don't have any parents. They don't have any parents. They don't have any shoes. They have things that we get the luxury. They don't have things that we have the luxury of doing. And it's not just about kids. You might be passionate about helping dogs or, helping somebody write a book or something that has nothing to do with what I'm passionate about doing. Average, good, or great. What does that mean? I am an average golfer. I'm an average cook. I'm a good friend. I'm a great nothing yet. Average, good, or great is a choice. Anyone can be an average cook. Anybody can be an average golfer. Any child can be an average anything. To be good, what does that take? A little bit of effort, a little bit of time, a little bit of dedication, a little bit of passion behind the purpose of what you want to be good at. To be average doesn't take much of any of that, I don't think. To be great. What does great? I'm standing here speaking in the place of greatness. There was greatness standing here. Whoa. Average, good, or great. Greatness is a lifetime of work. work, dedication, sincerity, honesty, compassion, love, grace, dignity. All of those things come with a lifetime of work to achieve greatness. I hope to become a great wife, a great mother, a great friend, a great daughter. You know, there are things I want to be great at, but I have to work at it every single day. What is it that you want to be average, good, or great at? Because I can promise you, we can't be great at everything. We've heard a lot of different talks over the last few days about things, about being average, about being good. Most of the people that were here as speakers are getting close to greatness, aren't they? Because they have dialed it in on the things that they want to do, or the things that they know that they're good at. And that comes with age. As you age, you gain wisdom. And with wisdom comes greatness. Does anyone in here know what they want to be great at? Only me? I definitely want to be great at something, and I'm still working at it. I'm still trying to find out what is that we want to strive to be great at, and known at what you're great at. What is it? That's part of the passion behind the purpose. The purpose and the passion, they all go together, don't they? I've been fortunate enough to run through the Sahara Desert and fortunate enough to run through many deserts. Yes, that is me back in the day, running up a sand dune. Now, as I get older, I'd probably be walking up the sand dune. I'm okay with that. I don't need to chase after you, but I mean, look at the beauty, the beauty of the places that the sport of running and the sport of getting to do what I love and that I'm passionate about has taken me. Yeah, well, you may not want to do that, but that is definitely something I enjoy doing. And this was, Sister Mary Beth put that darn towel over my head. I didn't ask, you know. In Death Valley, it was really hot 2 summers ago. It's hot there every summer, by the way. So we came up with the towel system. Soak that sucker in a big old bucket of ice cold water, put it over your head, only can see a little tiny bit of your eyes. You are not going to be that hot. Remember it for next time. And guess what? White, hot, cold. I'm out there with Sister Mary Beth, who has to be in a black habit. So when I'm thinking that I'm hot and I'm miserable, oh, I'm hot and I'm miserable, I think about it if I had to have a black habit on out there in that heat. Okay? That would be hot, right? But isn't it beautiful? I don't look too miserable. All right, this one's for you, Vinny. Pulling a tire. I pulled a tire 100 miles last winter. Why? Because I felt like it. I felt like it. It was a part of a passionate thing that I wanted to see if I could do it. I didn't know that it was going to hail, sleet, snowstorm during the time that I said, I'm going to pull this tire 100 miles. All of a sudden, I have to tell you, it got bad. But I committed to doing the 100 miles with the tire. I got pulled over by the police asking if I needed a ride. I got asked so many questions. Do you have a flat tire? No, but I do you have a flat tire? Do you need a ride? And I took that tire maybe 10 miles, pulling it like this, because I was full of snow, and it wouldn't move. You'd think it would slide, but it got heavier and heavier and heavier. I have a friend who drove up next to me. He goes, "You're cheating. You said you were going to pull the tire." I said, "I'm not pulling the tire. I was pulling it this way." Like making me mad, knowing that if you get somebody mad, they're going to keep doing it, right? They're going to get mad and they're going to keep after it. So why would I want to pull a tire 100 miles? Because it was helping my goal get stronger for what I was training towards. I don't tell everybody to go pull a tire 100 miles, nor do I tell everybody I went and pulled the tire 100 miles. But I did. Why? Most everybody looks around and says, "Oh, those ultra runners, they're crazy." I'm about the least craziest person you know. You know, running a marathon's crazy, right? It doesn't matter. We're not crazy people. We are enthusiastic, passionate, loving, kind human beings with big hearts just like anybody else. And the fact that I wanted to go pull a tire 100 miles, how many kids did I get to help with my 100 miles? What's 100 times? Come on. 1 mile for 1,000 kids, right? There is a purpose behind what I do and why I do it. It's not always about gee, I'm going to go see if that's what I can do. Because when I put the purpose with the passion, holy cow, it makes it so much nicer for me. All of these things that we do in our life, such as these big journeys, you cannot do them alone. It is impossible to do them alone. Last summer, I did 4. That's number 4. Unfortunately, Sister Mary Beth had to leave earlier, or she would have been standing at that sign too. Badwater and Death Valley. I love Death Valley because I feel like in a past life I must have lived there. I know that sounds crazy, but that I am drawn to the desert. I am drawn to the atmosphere of it. It's not that I want to go back and do the race over and over and over and over. It's I like to go back there and create my own journeys and create my own things. It's not so much for me about racing anymore, although I used to love to race. So last year in July, I did the Badwater Quad. And why did I do that? Because I've been yearning to do it for 12 years. When Marshall Ulrich did the Badwater Quad, I was on his team, I was his crew chief, and I was there with him every step of the way. And I was in complete, utter awe of what this man had accomplished. Utter awe of the difficulty and what he had done for the Badwater Quad. So it wasn't that I just stepped up and said, I'm going to go do the Badwater Quad. It took me 12 years to believe that I could do it. To believe that I had enough experience and that I was mentally, physically, spiritually, more than anything, ready to do the Badwater Quad. 4 times back and forth, because doing it once is hard enough. 96,000 feet of elevation gain and loss. It was 128 degrees most days. Death Valley through every single obstacle we prayed about to get. We wanted it to be hard. It was incredible. But I went into the Badwater Quad very different than I had any other event in my life. I really went about it in what we learned today about mindfulness. I watched the movie The Way of the Peaceful Warrior 4 times. I read the book 3 times. I spoke on the phone to Dan Milliman several times. I love the motto, I am a peaceful warrior. I am a peaceful warrior, and I moved through that desert 594 miles. Never, ever did I complain. Once, nothing got in my way. No obstacles got in my way. We were throwing everything you could have possibly imagined, running out of gas. Just such obstacles where you just want to, get like David Horton. I moved through that thing so peacefully. It was incredible. That I'm even saying that I moved through that incredibly peaceful. And I'm still peaceful. It was the hardest experience of my life, but it was the most gratifying and the most peaceful because of not the accomplishment, but the fact that I was able to remain peaceful and serene in the purpose of why I was doing what I was doing. 1 mile for 1,000 kids. The project, the journey, was called Badwater for Good Water. Badwater for Good Water, raising money for clean water wells. Okay? Clean water wells for children like the first photo that you saw. Anytime I would think about my mind going astray, I would draw it quickly back to the bottle of water that I was holding in my hand, getting to drink, and quickly back to the kid who had none. Like drawing in those parallels. A team of people, there is no way you could do anything like that without a team of dedicated people sacrificing their time, their effort, their work, their families to be there with you the whole step of the way and believing in your purpose and taking on the same passion. Ask for help. I know Terry spoke about this briefly yesterday in her presentation. Ask for help. The hardest thing in my life that I have learned is asking for help. Ask for help. Get on the phone, call somebody, don't text them, don't send them an email. If you need help doing something, planning something, you ask for help. In 2010, when we did the 50 miles in 50 states, so many people, how can I help? How can I help? Oh, we're good, we don't need help. We're good, we don't need help. And what I realized was what we were doing was not giving people an opportunity. We are not giving an opportunity. If you come up and say, hey, how can I help you? Oh, I don't need your help. But I really do need your help. I really would like your help. we are not giving people an opportunity. Too many people say yes when they get asked to help. Yes, I'll help you. But they don't mean it. They really need to step away. If you call me up, Francis, and you say, hey, can you help me do that? And what I'll do now is I'll say, hey, can I call you back tomorrow? Let me look at my schedule. Let me see how it's going, what I have going. Because a lot of people say yes and commit, but it's not what they really want to do. And then they feel overwhelmed, and they feel overcommitted, and they're not going into it with their whole heart and their whole soul. So if someone asks you for help, you step away, and you come back after you think about it, you pray about it, you meditate on it. And if it's something you really want to do, yeah, then you help. Then you help. But you have to ask, too. You have to ask people to help you. And what we learned, too, is if they say no, that's okay. If people say, no, I cannot help you, that means they have strong boundaries and that they've really thought about it. Maybe they can't help you. It doesn't mean they don't believe in your passion or your purpose. It just means that they said no. But if we don't ask people to help us or to help, we're not giving them an opportunity. I'm a very faith-based athlete, very faith-based runner. I believe that, I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I've heard before, oh, there's that religious runner. Or there's that religious girl. I'm not a religious runner. I'm a Christian. I believe in everybody. I believe in all walks of life, all faiths of life. But I do believe. I do believe. And when you believe and you put that into something, that's mindfulness, and that comes with you, and that comes with peace. It's amazing what can happen with your purpose, whatever that might be. Mine is 1 mile for 1,000 children. And like I've said, we've raised several $1 million for a lot of different things. One of my favorite songs is On Top of the Mountain. How does that song go? Come on. Does anyone know how to sing it? I'm on top of the world, hey. I'm on top of the world, hey. I'm on top of the world, hey. Well, God forbid I couldn't get that off my iPod. It was stuck. I'm on top of the world. Hey, my crew's like, tell her to be quiet. I'm on top of the world, but I was on top of the world. Half the time I am on top of the world. What is your top of the world, babe? What is the top of the world? That's where I live, the Grand Tetons. I get to go sit there whenever I want to. That is my backyard. That is my home turf. It's amazing. It's beautiful. The energy, all of it. I hope you all come someday. But your top of the world can be anywhere you are in life. Anywhere. Sitting in a car. Where is your top of the world? What's it going to take for you to use that passion of yours and turn it into something that's a great purpose? Last summer when I finished the quad, the reason I'm speaking about that a lot is because that's my most recent run. I literally didn't want it to be over. I was terrified to finish. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. When I finished the 2,500 mile run, I was like, what are you going to do now when it's over? I wanted to keep going. As that crazy as that is. Literally, there was nobody there having a big party, big congratulations, nothing. My crew gave me a bottle of water. I had 2 miles left to go. I'd gone 592 miles. 2 miles left to go. My crew member comes out to me and he says, will this bottle of water be enough? And I said, yes, it will. I was bawling, and he said, just reflect on what we've done here the last 11 days. So as I'm finishing that 2 miles and I'm sipping that bottle of water, I get to this finish line tape that my crew had made for me, and I fell to my knees, and the bottle of water was empty. And I thought to myself, holy shit, if I had 2 miles left to go, guess what? I'd be dead. I'd be dead in Death Valley if I had 2 miles left to go and didn't have a crew who had water in the car. And literally, when I finished, I found out that somebody did die 10 miles up the road, a movie star that was out there who'd gone on a 4-mile hike with only water for 2 miles and died right out there where we were. So when I fell to my knees and my water bottle was empty, I thought the purpose of this journey, bad water for good water, 1 mile for 1,000 kids, was successful. because we raised money for her. We raised money for the water well. We had a great purpose behind the run. It wasn't about me. Running is my vessel. Running is the tool that I get to be fortunate enough to use for her. For her. She's my hero. Look at this. Can you imagine? And a smile on their face. That's the water they have every day. They can walk 60 miles with that water over their head and hope to pray that they don't drop a drop of it, because that's all they're going to get. My next adventure I am doing a lot of tire pulling because it's a long way. I plan to run 3,100 miles across the U.S. Again, why am I doing it? For a great purpose. 3 causes. I train a lot pulling a tire. I believe in quality versus quantity. I don't have 6-8 hours a day to go out and train. I have 3 in the morning till 7 in the morning. I'm a very busy mother. We eat breakfast with our children. We eat dinner with our children. We put our kids to bed at night. We do all those things that parents are supposed to do with their kids. This is not my top priority. I do not make money running. I do not have sponsors that pay me. As a matter of fact, most often I pay out of my own pocket, working 5 jobs to pay for these journeys that we do to go raise money to help others. So believe me, I don't get rich by doing this. I get rich at heart because I'm using my passion to help others. Giving thanks. It's amazing that I get to do what I do, and I love what I'm able to do. I love people. I love helping people. And I'm grateful. I do it for these guys. Look at their little faces. Cup of milk. That may be their first cup of milk, right? Sister Mary Beth said, this is true. That is the first cup of milk those kids have ever had in their life. And that piece of bread. They were scared to drink the milk, people. They were scared to drink the milk because you know what they were used to? Dirty brown water. They got that milk, and I'll never forget Sister Mary Beth telling me that they sat there and looked at that cup of milk because they were scared to drink it. That's why I run. And I run for her. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. I've been told so many times when I was a young kid, you stink, you suck, you're no good. You can't do that run in 62 days, Lisa. You can't do that. You can't. But you can. You can if you believe you can. And you have help and the right people and a team of people, behind you in your passion and in your purpose because they are passionate about the same thing. And without a dream, what is a dream chaser? A dream chaser to me is find a dream and chase it down. I literally chase it by running and chasing the dream. You can chase your dream any way you want to. It doesn't have to be by running. That just happens to be the way that I do it. And I would start today, not Monday. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Yes?
Do you consider yourself masochistic?
Not at all.
No? You get that question all the time?
Not at all. No. Now, maybe when I was younger, I don't think so at all. I think,
You don't thrive in the pain?
I don't thrive on the pain at all because I feel that I can channel it in. It's very painful. It's very, very painful, but I have thought of we used the word suffering before, and I had this article written about me. It was on the front of the LA Times, and it said, "Runner, the will to suffer for others." And I thought, I'm not suffering for others. This is my choice to do this. Suffering is not having milk and bread and starving, literally starving to death, drinking brown water, having cancer. To me, those are things that are suffering. I feel that I'm in pain and that I'm hurting, and I can drink that bottle of water, and I can get in an air-conditioned vehicle, and that I can work through those aches and pains. And I feel that that the older you get, the wiser you get, the better you are at dealing with all of those aches and pains, and it's a personal choice. So why would I keep going back to do it? Is because every time I feel that I'm learning to do it differently. Learning to do it differently, learning to do it better. More emotionally and spiritually than anything.
But do you need it?
Huh?
Do you need it?
Do I need it? There are some days I don't get to work out at all. As a matter of fact, there are 3-4 days, and it used to just get to me like it's a drug. It's, trading addictions is another big topic. Trading addictions. I am an addict. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, whatever it might be. My choice is exercise. But now I'm in such a different place that my choice is really more driven towards helping people. And that is filling this adrenaline void, which is crazy. And maybe it is because I'm getting older. But it's okay with me if I miss a day of exercise. But it wasn't always that way. So.
When are you planning on doing the adventure?
The goal, the dream, the hope is March 22nd, 2016, which is World Water Day. So it's sort of fitting for raising money for clean water wells, and there's I have 3 causes I'm known for now because I can't, there's so many kids with cancer these days, I bear to think of it, and another organization called City Kids, but the clean water is Sister Mary, everywhere we go, everywhere she travels in missions, there's no water. And without water, we die. It is the element, the key essential life force is water. You can feed people, you can give them schools, you can give them clothes, but they are still dying because the water is bad. If the water is bad, if the water becomes good, we will save a lot more people. And we all deserve clean drinking water.
Lisa, I want to go back to Simon's question because I wasn't satisfied with your answer. When you say he asked if you need it, not so much the training as much as the racing. A lot of times, ultra athletes become defined by that thing. I know I say it happened to me. It happens to a lot of people. Do you ever see a day when you won't need to run? Not run, but need to race long distances.
It's absolutely. I feel like, Sister Mary Beth has told me, I pray your legs will keep working and that God allows you to live to be 100 years old because we have a lot of work to do. I look at this as I have a lot of work to do helping others. I have a lot of work to do to save those kids. I mean, that's what feeds me. I cannot sleep sometimes thinking of a kid starving to death or not having clean water, or that's what drives me, that's what feeds me. It's not so much, I've got to do a race, because I don't race that much anymore. If I enter a race, it's to pace a student, do it with a friend. I do not race. I have no desire to ever run fast again. I do have a desire to go further and go longer, because I feel that I can. And I definitely love to challenge myself. Now, if I was going to go out and do the New York City Marathon next week, I promise you it wouldn't raise $1 million. So I feel like because of all of the things we've already done, Marcia's got to up the ante. It's not upping the ante for anything except for our own personal challenge. It's a personal challenge to be able to do something like that. But it's also personal growth. It's not that I thrive on having to do it. I'm a very goal-oriented person. I like to have a goal. We all need a carrot hanging out there, whatever that goal might be. We talk about weightlifting, is it going to be someone who wants to snatch 300 pounds or whatever it is.
But if it's escalating, does that mean one day you might try to run there and back again from the country?
I seriously doubt it. I feel like at 55 years old, I'm healthy, I'm fit, I have no injuries. Why not? Why not? I have support, my family is supportive of it. It's the why not. If I was sick or injured or there was a reason that was telling me that you're not supposed to do this and you should put it off or you shouldn't be doing it, I would absolutely listen to that. But 20 years ago, no way. I was doing it no matter what you said. No matter what you said, what you did. This summer I wanted to go out to Death Valley and do a solo. As a matter of fact, I had the date picked. I was going to go out and do it. And my kids said, Mommy, please don't go back out to Death Valley this summer and do that. And you know what? canceled, didn't do it. My kids are so on board because they are also helping to raise money. They know why I do this. It's part of my passion, it's part of my purpose, it's part of my own personal dreams that involves, our family and our kids. So if it was taken away, like if I could never run another day, I would still continue raising money. I would still continue building water wells. I wouldn't stop. The reason I run is for the passion, the purpose of it. I have no desire to ever run another race again. I don't need to pay the money to enter another race. But if I have a student who wants me to do the race with them, I'm happy to go and pace them through it. But I support people who want to race and enter races and beat people in times and all those things. But I'm long past that.
Two things. One is in Hawaiian language, the word for drinkable fresh water is vai, and their word for well is vai. So they've always held water as being the real essence of what well is.
Yes.
And the second one to me is what happens in terms of like going from the focus of the race to the focus of the journey is the events become more a metaphor for life, and the question is, do I really want to go through life as fast as possible, gritting my teeth, and see if I can have a brief moment of glory on the finish line? Or do I want to, somehow orient it towards a path of service and towards a real sense of gaining, noble qualities, maybe grace, humility, compassion, gratitude. And that's, I think, when we're given the gift of having help, that's what I find is gravitating more towards.
Right, exactly. And it's a gift,
When did you find, how old were you? You never asked the lady her age, but how old were you when you finally went from passion to now I want to help others? And what was your aha moment?
My aha moment truly was the 20-pound turkey, giving at $10 that day. That was an aha moment, but it didn't last long because I won. And I was shocked that I won, and I wanted to beat everybody because I was mad. I was running mad, I was ticked off at the world. And I wanted to beat people, I wanted to win. And I had a room full of trophies. I've since given all my buckles away. I mean, they don't mean anything to me anymore. What means something to me is when you see the kid with the water bell. When I met Sister Mary Beth, it changed my life. It was like, you need to use this gift you have to run, to help other people. But what do you have in mind? Oh my gosh, what she does. Something you don't know about this woman is she is probably the only person you're ever going to meet in your life that has won the Service of Peace Award through the UN and the Vatican for all of the service that she has done in her life. So my mentor, my godmother, my mentor, my friend, my running partner, I mean, how could I not want to help her? How could I not want to, I mean, it's not like she threw this passion and said, you have to do this. I mean, I was given a choice. I was given a choice. Then when I couldn't have my own kids, and I have adopted kids, I mean, I have my own orphans that I've adopted. I mean, it was an absolute godsend that we were put together. She was put, in my life, and that you have a best friend, or you have a friend, or a mentor, somebody that has mentored you in your life, towards a path of goodness and wellness. Because I don't need to beat anybody anymore, but I do need to help my kid. That's what drives me. And if my running is taken away, I will still be doing that. That's never going to stop until the day I die. That's what I'll be doing. Whether it's clean water or something, because it's what I'm passionate about. It's what these guys want to, this is what these kids are doing with this conference. They want to help people. It's absolutely beautiful at this young age to actually get it, to get what life is about. At the end of my life, it's not going to be counting how many bad water belt bubbles I have. Trust me. Nobody is going to care how many bad water belt bubbles I have. They are going to care that kid's got water, though. They're going to remember that. That's what I want my kids to remember. Yeah, I want my kids to win their lacrosse game, win we celebrate that their goals and we celebrate their hockey wins and all those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, you know, I want my kids to be good people, caring people, loving people, kind people. Open the door for somebody, help somebody. That is what we are supposed to do in life, is give, help, and serve others, because that's also doing that for us.